Hey guys, Hop here. We are at the range with two new folding stocks, and I've also got a host platform to attach them to. So we're going to compare these two. I guess you call it the industry standard, but it's setting a really low bar for value, and also compare it to just sort of a kludged system built up from a Midwest folding adapter and a standard carbine stock. Should be fun. Stick around.
Today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor, Venture Surplus. Have you considered everything that wool has to offer you? Venture has a selection of U.S. military wool gear, including wool blankets, which are an excellent item to keep in a vehicle for emergencies. Something else worth keeping in the vehicle might be a wool hat. If you're driving anywhere in the winter, it's a good idea to keep some of these things in the vehicle. I know, your car's probably nice and warm as long as it's running, but if you gotta stop somewhere for a while, you may appreciate having a few extra layers. You lose a lot of your heat through your head, so putting on a wool hat certainly helps, and wrapping yourself in a wool blanket probably couldn't hurt either. For some reason, Venture also has some USGI surplus wool shirts and trousers from the 1950s. When they're from the 1950s, you call them trousers instead of pants. And apparently somebody already left a review on the pants, and it's not an extremely positive one. What the hell? I was issued these in 1978 in Korea. Small world. Check out Venture Surplus at the link in the video description and use the code provided to save 10% off your order. A big thank you to Venture Surplus for their continued support of this show. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let's get back into it.
If you're trying to design and market a competitor to the AR-15 platform, the folding stock is kind of your ace in the hole. After all, you are virtually guaranteed to end up with something that is heavier and more expensive but doesn't shoot as good, so you're really going to have to lean into that short stroke piston and folding stock in order to make sales. In case I'm not making it obvious enough, I think this sales pitch is essentially bunk, which should make me the perfect person to compare and contrast different folding stock options on the market, because I am not romantically attached to this idea in the slightest. The current default option for folding stocks on the market is the Bushmaster ACR style stock. There are a few companies making their own interpretations of the ACR stock, like F5 Manufacturing and Haga Defense. There's also this, which is a folding stock from B&T made for their APC series guns. The B&T stock is like halfway between an ACR style stock and a SCAR style stock, but like the ACR style stock, it's still bad and expensive. This is the version that came attached to the CMMG Mark 47 Descent, although I think CMMG has stopped using the B&T stock and actually switched over to the B5 stock, which we'll talk about later. SCAR and ACR style stocks have a problem where you can adjust the length of pull, but as the butt pad moves, the cheek rest position stays the same. This doesn't really work for the human body. On this B&T stock, it kind of looks like the cheek riser moves to the rear with the butt pad, but as you can see, only the front part actually raises up, so you don't really get the effect of raising the cheek height if you also choose to extend the butt pad. And just for good measure, this stock is really hard to adjust, really uncomfortable to use, and very flimsy. If you were to buy one of these things on its own, it would run you about $300. If you want to get the F5 version of their ACR style stock that fits the CMMG Descent, I think it's even more than that, like $350 unless you get it on a steep discount. Until pretty recently, that's just how it was. ACR style folding stocks were really expensive and they sucked really bad.
Will it stock?
It will. Against my will.
Yeah. I don't like the slanting. This is so dumb. I don't like that. It's so stupid. I guess you could do this, but only if you need to shorten it.
Yeah, if it starts off long.
The host weapon for our stock comparison is a PSA Jackal with the 1913 rear end plate installed. And yes, I only bought this upper so I would have a suitable platform to test these stocks on.
Okay. Started getting gassed out immediately, and then I just was like, I guess I have to breathe it.
So moving into our alternative options, what if you just picked up a Midwest Industries side-folding M4 beam stock adapter and you stuck your own stock on it that you probably already had? You might think of this as a budget alternative to the folding stock, but unfortunately it kind of isn't. These Midwest Industries side-folding adapters cost almost $200, and then you factor in the cost of a stock. AR stocks run, $30 to $60 depending on how, good you want it to be, and you have essentially not saved all that much money. The plus side is you get all the advantages of whatever your favorite AR stock is, You get the folding capability, and because Midwest Industries uses a very robust clamp and folding system, this thing is not going to collapse on you under recoil. One big advantage to this setup is that you can go ahead and pair this folding beam adapter with a pistol brace of your choice and end up with a folding extendable brace setup. There is a flip side to that coin, and that is that all of these setups tend to be very bulky. The big issue, probably the main complaint that I have with folding stock guns, is that when you fold the stock, you shorten the gun, but you also double the width of the gun. So if you're trying to put it into a more compact or concealed space, you're making it a little bit easier to conceal, to store, to transport, at the same time as you're making it more difficult to conceal, store, or transport.
Is that enough cheek weld, or would you need it higher, you think?
Higher, because like down here, the dot's just in the lower third of the window.
So that could go a notch higher on the
Because you could
end
always
plate.
move it up, right?
Here we go. The clamp doesn't seem to fit the geometry correctly.
The clamps!
Or a clamp lock device. Whoa, what the hell? Yeah, there we go. That is a solid kludge. Better?
Oh yeah, much better. Yeah, and you can't really like crank too hard on this one. You can't crank on your hog hard on this one to like actually flex it too much.
That's adequate spot for your cheek meat.
Yeah. I'd say B tier. B5 tier.
Up next, we have the new folding stock from B5 Systems. This is a more affordable alternative to the F5 stock. This thing costs under 250 bucks just at retail, and I'm sure it'll go on sale for less than that. The B5 stock is 1913 compatible, meaning you can put it onto a huge variety of different guns. It has ambidextrous sling swivels mounted at the back, which is very nice. It also has a built-in cheek riser system that's a little bit better than the F5. This is something you can adjust on the fly. You don't have to purchase or carry around additional cheek riser pieces. It's just always available for you anytime you feel like you need a little bit more of that comb height. Two downsides to the B5. One, it's got that classic problem where the butt pad of the stock extends to the rear, leaving the cheek rest in place. And that's not how the human body is shaped. It's not how most people hold or shoot a firearm, or if that is how you do it, you shouldn't. And just based on our experience, this adjustable cheek riser is extremely uncomfortable if you shoot with it deployed.
That doesn't feel good at all. That feels worse.
The B5 folding stock seems pretty decent. It does look great. It's also quite thin. I think this thing is very well suited to PDW or other smaller platforms. When you try to put this thing onto a bigger gun, it just feels insubstantial, I guess is how I would describe it.
I'll say this, it does lock up a lot better, although this does bend a lot.
I don't know, man. It's the best looking. Best looking by far.
Because it looks like an ACR stock. And isn't that what we're all trying to do? We're all just trying to make the ACR.
Not me, because remember we got to shoot an ACR?
Oh yeah, and it sucks.
People who fetishize this style of stock are less than stupid.
So, not counting as sentient life.
Multi-cal! God. So it can feed 300 blackout.
Oh God.
Where's my 300 blackout mag?
Well, anyway, thank God for Magpul. This is the Magpul UCS, and like a lot of the products that Magpul makes, this is all things to all men.
Whoa, hey, that was pretty slick.
This is slightly more expensive than the B5, which still makes it substantially cheaper than the F5. And as you would expect from most products that Magpul makes, it's just better than everything the competitors have ever thought of trying to do in the first place. Let's go through all of the ways in which the Magpul folding stock is the best one, and then the one crucial element that they fucked up that's going to make this thing a non-starter for a lot of you. First of all, this thing can fold to either side. You can completely reconfigure this stock to fold left or right, depending on how your gun is set up. In addition, the clamp can be flipped upside down to allow you to more precisely position that Picatinny rail adapter onto the back of your gun, meaning you can move the stock up or down, not just by pick rail slots, but kind of by half pick rail slots, depending on how high you need it to be. The Magpul stock is also one of the easiest to adjust of all the ones that we've tried. Also, in order to fold it, you actually have to push the button down rather than lifting a mechanism or just pushing on it really hard. It does not lock in the closed position, meaning you can just grab it and rip it open with basic force to overcome, but in order to get it to collapse, you have to deliberately push the button. Also, the Magpul stock does the most important thing with a folding extending stock, in my opinion, which is that your cheek position moves back commensurate with the butt pad position, because your cheek is attached to your face is attached to your head, the head to the neck to the body to the shoulder, and the shoulder to the other part of the fucking stock.
Verdict.
That is by far the most comfortable. And it feels like it's the most straight in line too. The other ones all feel like they drop or something, or they just have the comb drop, but this has everything straight and the riser's right where I want it.
The sling swivel on the Magpul UCS is not ambidextrous, but it is reversible. So in my opinion, no points lost to something like the B5 stock, which has ambidextrous sling QDs. Also, relative to other Magpul products, points gained because they don't charge you extra for a sling kit in order to upgrade the stock into something you can actually fucking use. The Magpul UCS is compatible with the SL style butt pads in case you wanted to swap them out, and it has a cheek riser system to allow you to increase the comb height. The cheek risers on the UCS are different than the ones that they've used on their AK stocks or their AR stocks before, but that's okay because it comes with two different heights. So there you go, Magpul UCS. Like with a lot of Magpul products, when they finally get around to actually doing something, they tend to do it better than anybody else could ever hope to. There is just one critical flaw with the Magpul UCS.
Functionality, buttons are great. Can you do one button? Okay, so this is good because you need both buttons to work it, so you're not gonna worry about like bumping into stuff and having your stock go all over the place. Most comfortable out of all of them too. Nice thick butt pad, cheek risers at the right height. There's nothing to like yank on my beard, unlike some of the other Magpul stocks and some of those as well.
Well, so Magpul UCS, I think we both agree, best on function, best on comfort. Here's the real kicker. What about aesthetics?
It's kind of ugly.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of
Doesn't look good.
It's like if I could compare it to a woman.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want on the internet. It's got me interested for the right reasons. The looks are superfluous, right? It functions, right? So who
It's got a
gives
great
shit what you-
personality.
It's got great personality.
I don't know, there are probably some platforms on which the UCS looks just fine, and if you pair it with other Magpul branded furniture, you know, I think you can mitigate the effect overall. But yeah, I guess that's just going to be the Persian flaw of the Magpul UCS. So we've got three options here that seek to dethrone the almost industry standard F5 stock. We've got the Midwest Industries or similar folding adapter plus the AR stock of your choice. This is when you just want to have a normal shooting experience, but you also want to fold it sometimes to get into a slightly smaller bag. The B5 stock, I think, is better for smaller guns, you know, sub guns, PDWs, something like that, where you want something that's a little bit slimmer and lighter and folds into a flatter package. And the Magpul UCS is for when you actually want a good stock on your folding stock gun. I hope this was in some way informative to you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And just to remind you, Magpul doesn't pay me or send me anything for free. They're just that fucking good. Check out the links in the video description if you want to support this channel. I paid full price for this, by the way, and this and this. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. And if I've got a particularly juicy clip of my Timeshare Cat Socko, it will be playing right now. See you next time.